Let me guess, you start new diets all the time, and week 1 is always amazing. You get fired up, you're motivated, the scale is dropping every single day. Week 2 is okay, and then somewhere around week 3 or 4, the progress on the scale slows down or just stops moving altogether. You feel tired, you're hungry all the time, and you start to wonder, what's the point? And then you quit. Here's the thing, if that cycle sounds familiar, I need you to listen to me very carefully. The reason that you have failed and this continues to happen to you is because nobody has ever told you about the 3 unavoidable biological stages of fat loss. Every single person who loses a significant amount of weight goes through these 3 phases, but 90% of people quit in the middle of stage 2 because they don't see it coming and they think they've done something wrong. But today, I'm going to give you the roadmap. I'm going to walk you through exactly what to expect, why it happens, and what to do to push through stage 2 and finally achieve a permanent, sustainable transformation in your health and fitness. Let's get into the video. Stage 1. I call this the honeymoon phase because this is when everything feels easy and the reality of a long-term transformation is yet to set in. You've got your calories, you're hitting your workouts, and the scale is rewarding you for it. You might drop 3, 5, 7 pounds in the first week alone, which is super encouraging, but here's the reality check. That dramatic initial drop in weight is not all from fat, and in fact, most of it isn't fat at all. When you first go into a calorie deficit, your body's primary source of fuel is its stored carbohydrates, which are called glycogen. And for every 1 gram of glycogen your body stores, it also stores about 3 to 4 grams of water along with it, effectively making it a sponge. So when you burn through that glycogen in the first week or 2, you're also flushing out all of that stored water. And that's where that big, fast drop on the scale comes from. And there's a ton of research to back this. This is the infamous water weight trap that gets sold to you. This is where those lose 10 pounds in 7 days challenges get you. They're selling you a water loss honeymoon phase and pretending it's real sustainable fat loss. And now, I'm not a complete cynic. I do realize that for a certain percentage of people who embark on those challenges, some will actually change and get even more weight off than promised, meaning real fat is lost, and even so far as keep it off long term. But for the vast majority of those quick fix style challenges, the failure rate is 3 to 5 times greater than the success rate. And it's because most of that early progress is coming from the water weight. So my actionable advice for stage 1 is simple. Just enjoy it. Let that initial drop build your psychological momentum. But you have to go into it knowing with 100% certainty that this rate of progress will not last. It is going to slow down. And you need to be mentally prepared for when it does, because that's when the real work begins. So when I see one of my clients coming out of stage 1 and starting to get disgruntled, I tell them the short story of my personal strength progress as an example of just how long real progress takes. When I started lifting weights around 14, 15 years old, I was able to go from squatting under 100 pounds up to 315 pounds within 3 years. It's about 70 pounds of strength gain per year. Then to go from 315 to 405 on my squat, it took me another 3 years. The rate of strength gain reduced down to 30 pounds. Then to go from 405 to 455, it took me another 3 years, which meant I was only gaining strength at about 15 pounds per year at that point. Now, your goal and most of my clients' goals are not to be able to squat 400 plus pounds, but I tell you the story to illustrate that the longer you are working on your health and fitness and the closer you get to your goal, the slower your progress will begin to occur. It's simply the law of diminishing returns. For stage 2, this is the make or break phase. This is where the grind of a fitness journey occurs. And it's where 90% of people quit, and it's where most people end up by February of each new year, new me challenge that they put into place. This usually kicks in around week 4, and it can last for a couple of months. And it's where you are still doing everything right from a disciplinary and a compliance perspective, but the scale has slowed dramatically or stopped moving entirely. So this is not in your head, and it's not because you lost your willpower. It's a predictable biological response from your body called metabolic adaptation. Here's the thing that you have to understand. Your body is a survival machine. It doesn't know that you're trying to look good for vacation or for somebody's wedding. It just knows that food is more scarce and it's losing weight, so it perceives it as a threat, and in response, it fights back to keep you alive. It gets smarter and more efficient, and it starts to burn fewer calories than we would expect due to your new decreased body weight. This is your metabolism literally adapting and slowing down to conserve energy. But that's not all. Your body then launches a hormonal attack on your appetite, and it's twofold. First, it cranks up a hormone called ghrelin, which is your primary hunger hormone. You literally start to feel hungrier more often. Hey, listen up. If you are a business owner that wants to lose 20, 50, or even 100 pounds, and you are sick of unsustainable diets, extreme workouts, and you're to the point where you're thinking about just throwing in the towel and getting on Ozempic, other GLP-1s, or going so far as getting some sort of bariatric or cosmetic surgery, listen up real quick. Let me pause you. I will work with you one-on-one to install a proven fitness operating system that reclaims your energy, brings back your confidence, and gives you complete control over your health. And if you aren't satisfied with the results, I will refund you in full. Across my career, I've done this with over 1,200 clients who have lost a combined total of over 10,000 pounds. So if any of this sounds even remotely interesting to you, check out the links in the description below and find the one that says apply to work with me. Click that, fill out the form, and let's see if we're fit to work together. Second, it tanks your levels of leptin, which is your fullness and satiety hormone. So not only are you hungrier, but you also feel less full and satisfied after you eat. And this isn't bro science. A landmark study in the New England Journal of Medicine followed people for a year after weight loss and found that these hormonal changes, increased hunger, decreased fullness, were not only real, but they persisted for the long haul. Your body is actively fighting to get back to its old weight that it was stuck at and adapted to for all of those years. It is a natural response. So you are burning fewer calories, you're hungrier, you feel less full. It's pretty obvious to see why people quit here. They think their plan is broken or that their body is broken, but it's a normal, predictable phase. It's a test and it can be passed. So how do we beat it? 3 things. First, stop relying on the scale as the only measure of progress. While I personally still believe that you should continue to weigh yourself daily for accountability and data's sake, your weight is going to fluctuate from water, salt intake, stress, and hundreds of other factors. So while again, it's a great source of daily data to ensure that you are still trending downwards weight-wise on a week-to-week or month-to-month basis, it is not the only source for overall health and fitness transformation progress. Start tracking non-scale victories. Are your clothes fitting better? Do you have more energy? Are you lifting heavier in the gym? Those are real needle movers too. And while oftentimes they coincide with the scale moving in the right direction, if the scale just isn't doing that right now, those are a surefire way to know that your body is still changing for the better. Second thing, stay focused on a high protein diet and consistent resistance training. This is your insurance policy against gaining back the weight that you have already lost. Building and maintaining muscle keeps your metabolism elevated and gives you that lean, strong look and helps you avoid the skinny fat physique. Studies have even shown that there's a direct correlation between muscle mass lost during a weight loss journey and weight regained afterwards. Said differently, the more muscle mass that you lose, the more weight you are likely to gain back when you're done. So to combat this, keep the protein intake up and do not stop resistance training. Third thing, and to be fair, this is a more advanced tip, but you can implement a recurring diet break. This means intentionally taking one day every 10 to 14 days to eat at your maintenance calories. It can help to temporarily normalize those hunger hormones and give you a much needed psychological break before getting back into a deficit. Real quick, when you are trying to cut fat or lose weight, I personally recommend making your daily calorie target your BMR, basal metabolic rate. When you're looking to maintain, make your daily calorie target your TDEE, total daily energy expenditure. You can find both of those using a simple online Mifflin St. George calculator. So to clarify here, on your diet break days, you would be consuming your total daily energy expenditure in calories, TDEE. Now, I wasn't planning on adding this part to the video, but I want to tell you a quick story about my client Kim and how we broke her through stage 2 using something outside of the 3 things that I just gave you. So back when I worked with Kim, she lost about 11 pounds in the first month, which was her stage 1. Honeymoon phase. Then she only lost about 4 pounds across the next 2 months, which effectively served as her stage 2, the grind. Barely any progress at all. However, she was actually doing all 3 of the things that I advise you to do here. Non-scale victories, high protein diet comboed with resistance training, and we were even implementing diet breaks. But it wasn't until she got a sleep study done that she found out she had sleep apnea and needed a CPAP. So shortly after implementing that, she went on to lose another 21 pounds in the following 3 months. So in Kim's case, going a layer deeper and investigating her sleep, which is key for metabolic and hormone health, was what unlocked her stage 2 breakthrough. If you can navigate the grind of stage 2, you earn your way to stage 3, which is the lifestyle phase. This is where motivation is mostly gone and a new powerful force takes over your habits. You are no longer on a diet or on a workout plan. You're just a person who's eating well and exercising. You've moved from that temporary state of losing weight to the permanent identity of being a healthy, lean, active person. And frankly, in my obviously biased opinion as somebody who is fit and coaches fitness, I think this should be the entire goal of your health and fitness transformation in the first place. And I say that for 2 reasons. Reason number 1 is because data tells us that is what works long term. Research from the National Weight Control Registry, which is a database of thousands of people who have lost significant weight and kept it off for years, shows that the single biggest predictor of long-term weight loss success is deeply ingrained healthy habits. Go figure. Reason number 2 is just my personal, very pragmatic opinion, which is that there is no sense in viewing health or fitness as a challenge or short-term priority, because it's a key pillar of your life as a human being and quite literally has a direct impact on the length of your life and the quality of your life. So again, in my opinion, it should always be a priority. And if you are just now getting to the point in your life where you are ready to make a change, I encourage you to start thinking through the lens of not just, how can I make this transformation, but how can I make this transformation and sustain the results of it forever? So the sobering reality here about stage 3 is that once you get there, this stage never really ends, and that's not a bad thing, because if you do this whole transformation thing properly by changing your habits and your identity at its core and becoming a healthy person, stage 3 is true freedom. It's where you have the skills to navigate holidays, vacations, stressful periods with work, falling off track. At this point, you've effectively achieved fitness autonomy, and you own your health instead of your health owning you. And that is what you should be fighting for. So let's recap. Stage 1 is the honeymoon. It's exciting, but it's mostly, fake progress from water weight. Stage 2 is the grind. It's the real biological test where your body starts to fight back, and it's where most people fail if they don't have the proper, sustainable mindset and strategy in place. In stage 3, the lifestyle phase, is the freedom that you earn by building the proper habits inside of stage 2. Understanding this roadmap is the first step to finally breaking the yo-yo cycle that has kept you stuck. Now, I want to hear from you. If you are watching this and you feel like you are stuck in that frustrating grind of stage 2 right now, I want you to comment stage 2 and some details about your situation below. I'm going to be in the comments personally. Nobody manages my channel, and I want to help support you the best that I can. So I'll go ahead and reply there if I feel like I have some insights for you. And for those of you who actually want to work with me one-on-one directly inside of my coaching services, there will be a link in the description to apply for that below. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.